In a span of less than 30 days, the Maharashtra government has again increased the price of petrol in Maharashtra. This time, ₹2 per litre.
When we came to power, this government was minus 3 lakh crores as in debt of the previous government. I think we need to understand that Maharashtra is going through a very tough time when it comes to agrarian crisis.
What is this going on? They think the people does not know. After, when the Congress government was in power, they looted the treasury. The government does not have the money now. It seems so as per your statements. But it cannot be an excuse.
Why people in Maharashtra should suffer for petrol? If it is price is raised everywhere, that is correct. If it is raised in Maharashtra, it is absolutely wrong.
कम करना चाहिए, सब जगह कम है तो महाराष्ट्र में नहीं करना चाहिए था. ये हमारे मुख्यमंत्री फडणवीस जी साहब का कुछ होगा वजह करके बढ़ाएंगे उन्होंने.
It is up to the petroleum firms to decide, but whatever they decide, it has to be, the petrol pricing has to be uniform throughout the country. Oh. Not specific to a state.
गलत है ना, बहुत गलत है ना. महाराष्ट्र में ऑलरेडी सब टैक्सेस वगैरह बहुत ज्यादा ही है.
Action has to be taken. Government must reduce petrol price. Really, from 1,000 rupees, I'm putting only 500 rupees petrol nowadays.
You're watching The Urban Debate on Mirror Now. I'm Fee D'Souza. Thank you for joining us. This evening, we talk about petrol prices again. Just to give you a recap on where we stand on petrol prices, viewers, you must know that, like you're looking at on your screen, back in 2014, crude oil prices were at $110 per barrel. Crude oil is the raw material that we import as a country in order to make or refine it into diesel, petrol and LPG. It was $110 a barrel, and at that point, we were paying 77 rupees a litre for petrol in Mumbai. Now, where we stand, that $110 a barrel is down to $49 a barrel. And we are paying 76 rupees and 55 paise. This is because various governments, especially the government of Maharashtra, has always used petrol as a quick, easy method to make money. You must know also, as a viewer and a taxpayer, that when you buy petrol, the actual fuel that you're buying, the oil that you're buying, is worth 29 rupees. This is after it is refined, this is after it is moved to the petrol station where you're buying it from, and this is after the commission is paid to the dealer who's selling you the petrol. What happens between 29 rupees and 76 rupees? State and central taxes. This entire amount of money is going into the coffers of the state and central government. Now, the question that we have to ask, and the question that we're going to ask again tonight, is where is the justification for state and central governments to charge us this kind of money on fuel? Remember, there are people in Pune who ride their motorcycles to office. They drop their children to school. They do not have a choice. If tomorrow you increase the price of petrol to 100 rupees, they don't have a choice. They have to pay that 100 rupees. How are we going to run our homes? Let's remember what the job loss numbers are in this country right now. Let's remember what the price of LPG is. Let's remember what the price of tur dal is. Let's remember what the price of real estate and homes and rent is. How are we going to run our homes as middle-class Indians if you keep increasing the price of petrol simply because you can? When are we going to get some accountability? And today I demand accountability from the government of Maharashtra. The government of Maharashtra has just today increased the price of petrol by 2 more rupees. So the central government gave us a 2 rupee cut, which is still not enough given where the global prices of fuel are. But the state of Maharashtra has quickly decided to make up that difference and increase prices by another 2 rupees. Where is the money going to come from? How are you expecting us to pay this money? You're not helping us with school fees. You're not helping us with LPG. You're not helping us with the price of food. And then you are squeezing and milking the middle-class Indian for more and more money. This is after we have already paid you almost a third of what we make in income tax, because the salaried class is the only class in this country that's actually paying any income tax. You take income tax, you take service tax, you take VAT, you take Swachh Bharat cess, you take Krishi Kalyan cess, you take a cess on a cess, and there is a tax on everything. Where is the accountability? Our phone lines are open to our viewers who want to call in, and I'm very upset because I believe that we deserve accountability. Vishwas Pathak, the spokesperson of the BJP, joins me in the studio. So does Clyde Craster, representing the NCP. Ravi Srivastav is a founding member of the Aam Aadmi Party and a former senior manager of HPCL. Ali Dharuwala is the spokesperson of the All India Petrol Dealers Association. Shailesh Gandhi is the former Central Information Commissioner and currently an RTI activist. Chaitanya Joshi and Ruben Kaduskar, I hope I said your name right, are both bringing in the citizen voices here, and the citizen voices are the most important. So I'm going to start with Ruben. Ruben and Chaitanya, do you believe this is fair?
I don't think so, because it's really difficult to choose how you have to travel now, because as a car owner, it's really difficult for me to plan my expenses. If they're going to increase and decrease the prices twice this month, they did that. I don't know how I can plan my expenses and go ahead with it. Like, I have to think twice before booking a cab or taking my car out.
And this is completely unfair. Chaitanya Joshi is a businessman. Chaitanya Joshi, at some point, the government is going to have to give us accountability on where the money is going. If you're going to keep collecting money from us, the least you can do is give us accountability. Do we have roads in the city of Mumbai that justify the kind of taxes we pay? Do we get clean water? Is the air clean? Are the police officers doing their job? Is there anything we're getting right now in this state that justifies the kind of money we pay in taxes?
Well, services, whether it's from the state or the city, are not that great. Maharashtra has lost its footing a long time ago. But as a businessman, when I look at the state, we have 400,000 crores or 4 lakh crores in debt, and we spend almost 32,000 crores every year just to pay the interest on this debt. Now, from where will the state government recover the money? The state government loses money in alcohol because of the Supreme Court stating that no alcohol shops on the national highways. I mean, as a businessman, if I had to run the state, I have a limited number of options from where I can raise revenue. And trust me, your graphics were a little wrong. Crude oil has closed at $55 a barrel, which is a 6-month high. In the international markets, and OPEC and Russia have announced a plan to cut maybe 1.3 million barrels per day. So you will find that crude prices are going to keep on increasing, and the government has a limited option but to pass on the cost of crude oil through petrol or diesel or gas to the consumer.
All right, Ravi Srivastav wants to respond. Ravi Srivastav, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, let me correct the gentleman who has just spoken just now. The crude oil price is ranging in between $41 to $55 in last 3 years in a very close band. And there are absolutely no chances for forthcoming next 2 years of crude oil prices going high anyway.
No, see, the point we're making.
US has got a surplus crude production right now.
No, my point is, Mr. Srivastav,
no, we can sit here. No,
yes, you should, you must. Just to also respond. While it is fair to sit here and spend half an hour arguing on where the future price of crude may be, the truth is, where is it now?
Not at all. I am just telling.
Talk about the present. No, that's the most important.
It's $55
talk about the present.
Not at all.
Today it's $55.
Allow me. This is a technical point which I am going to make. I have spent 3 decades in the oil industry, and I know the inside out of refinery pricing and all these things. I am telling you, refinery pricing is a fraud being played on the public of this nation. This I have said several times. Now I come to Maharashtra. The lady who was just giving an opening remark, the state is reeling under 3 lakh crore worth of this debt in the beginning. So we have to increase the prices wherever we get an opportunity. And rightly said, this is a customer. He's a open cow which can be milked anytime. You can just raise the price of, why the 3 rupees were raised on 21st April? For drought. Now 2 rupees for what? They will say for the junket of sending the MLS to Singapore, Australia for what? Or for doing a scam of the Tudal in the state, or Tikki scam and other scams. What for are you increasing it? This is, you are squeezing a helpless consumer There is no logic behind
you
it.
should also ask this question, Clyde. I'm going to come to you with this. Who uses petrol? Who uses petrol? The middle class.
Yes,
the
yes,
middle class
yes.
Indian uses petrol. People who have to go to
Yes,
office. People who
yes.
use motorcycles. In fact, the rich buy diesel SUVs.
Yeah.
The rich buy diesel SUVs. People who ride two-wheelers to office to drop their children, there is no diesel option for them. There is no CNG option for them. They have to use petrol. They're the ones who are getting squeezed. They're the ones who put 300 rupees worth of petrol in their motorcycles. These are the people you are squeezing and without conscience. Students, absolutely.
They are the victims.
No. The point that you made was very valid because it's a common man who's suffering. Now, I'll give you an example of what the finance minister went on record to say that, a few days back it was increased by 3 rupees. Then we, increased it by 2 rupees and we've gone back. Now, the point is, even if you increase it by 2 rupees after it's, 2 rupees has been reduced, you still go back to what it was 15 days ago. So the point here is there has been a hike. People are suffering and, you cannot keep increasing prices like this and, cutting the pockets of the common man. They've found a very easy way out. Now there's a loss of revenue on liquor, and there's loss of revenue in the housing sector. They found an easy way out to just pinch the pockets of the common man and fill their coffers. Right. But the point here is there are a lot of other issues. I want to make a couple of points. Right. Just one more quick point. One more quick point is, they're talking about deficit. They don't have the fund and all. They've got funds to go for foreign junkets, spend money on those things they have. Now they're talking about the common man, the farmers. The tur dal produce has not been procured by the government yet. People are suffering there. Those are the farmers that are going to suffer, ones who fill up petrol and run their daily lives, like the motorcycles that you're talking about. And this is a chain reaction. It's a cycle. The petrol prices go up. The prices of food products go up.
Let me just bring in Shailesh Gandhi.
Right?
Shailesh Gandhi, this is what the finance minister of Maharashtra has said in justification of the hike. He has said our estimates is that the cut in petrol prices will collectively result in a 750 crore rupee loss to the state exchequer. To make up for that loss, we have brought in this surcharge. This is the second surcharge in less than 2 months. Mr. Gandhi, where do you stand on the surcharge?
There is something called a budget, which is presented in assembly, and that's supposed to be a sacrosanct document, which says how much tax they'll collect from each item.
Yes.
To me, it appears the budget is now forgotten. The sanctity of the budget has been completely forgotten. You can raise taxes, you can raise revenue whenever you like as you go along. It's almost, I think even my wife does better budgeting than this.
I'm sure your wife does better budgeting than this.
This is absurd.
I take offense on behalf of your wife that you said even.
Also, but I also empathize with the government, because they need to give Patanjali land at 75% discount.
Very subsidized land.
They have given on lease in Mumbai alone over 3,000 to 4,000 crores every year's loss on lands they give. And all of this money belongs to the poorest man. They've got to rob him. And they've got to make up the money somewhere. So therefore, they keep raising it from petrol illegally, I would submit, because they break the spirit of what a budget is. They've completely destroyed the concept of a budget.
Mr. Gandhi, what you're saying is that the government is robbing from the poorest. And in order to cover that up, they're now robbing from the middle class. Ali, I see you. I'm coming to you.
One quick point can I make, please?
No, see, let me bring in the people who haven't spoken yet.
Ali, on what he said about the budget. Just one quick point on the budget. What I'm trying to say is, he said, that the budget is overlooked completely. Now, on the one hand, they are talking about bringing in about 750 crores through this whole increase in price. And on the other hand, 700 crores this year in the health budget has been cut. So what are they giving back to the common man or the poor people? What they're taking from them?
Right.
They're not giving anything back.
Let me make a quick point. This is not, I've told in the beginning itself, the petrol pricing is a fraud. In the sense, it is not alone the Maharashtra government. It is the central government also doing the same thing. They are milking the common man from both sides. Most of the oil companies have got more than 60% equity of their own. Last year, they have taken dividend to the extent of 60 to 70 rupees per share. So they are taking taxes from this side and they are milking the public from the other side as well.
60 to 70 rupees per share. How much does that add up to finally?
Coffers, the black hole of the government budgeting. The fiscal deficit.
Ali Daruwala, go ahead.
Yeah, Flair, we are drifting from the main question that you're asking us about the price hike. We should understand about this petrol, how the structuring is done. Before I begin and give you any more knowledge on this structuring, we should congratulate the Maharashtra government for not increasing the diesel prices. diesel prices directly affects.
For not robbing us with both hands.
No, sir.
So for not robbing us with, so you have a bit of Stockholm syndrome there, Ali.
The diesel should be sold at the rate of 35 rupees a litre. I am telling you, technically it is correct. It should be sold at 35 rupees a litre. You are milking by 25 rupees additionally at the moment.
Must be technically correct.
I don't believe. I don't accept it.
For the first time.
Go ahead,
Mr. Srivastava, if you allow me to talk, I didn't say a word when you were saying.
A very small
for the first time,
5 seconds.
For the first time
Sir,
in the
this is not a price hike.
Government.
This is a tax hike.
Yes.
It is not a. I think we should stop calling it a price hike because then we are talking of something else. This is not a price hike. This is a tax hike. And please justify the tax hike, sir.
I
will be very
happy. Finally, it affects the price of the petrol.
Okay, let me tell you about the price of petrol. The price of petrol in Mumbai is 76 rupees. The price of petrol in Delhi currently today, what is Delhi paying? 65 rupees. 65 rupees to 7.
It's the cheapest petrol in the country, actually, right now.
And look at it this way. The fuel comes into Mumbai's port. It is then taken by road. It is refined here in this city. It is taken by road to Delhi, and Delhi pays 11 rupees less than we do. Bangalore, 69 rupees. Kolkata, 68 rupees. Where is the justification? Where is the justification, Mr. Vishwas Pathak? I first of all want to appreciate that you listen very calmly to the opening statements of my entire panel. Now, Mr. Vishwas Pathak, where is the justification for the price that we are paying for petrol in the state of Maharashtra? Please tell me.
Yeah, now please listen me very carefully and patiently because I have to reply to all the issues.
Okay.
Number one, I as a citizen, even I don't like when there is hike in petrol prices. At the same time, I as a government, I don't like my people to be burdened. So we are equally very sensitive government.
Okay.
First, we need to understand the things in perspective. Now we talk about budget and all those things. In this budget, our budget is almost like 4 lakhs crores. And in this 4 lakhs crores, it is expenditure budget. And the revenue comes maximum from the taxes. And from taxes also, around 50% is contributed by value-added taxes on from petroleum products. So this has been the traditional way of collecting the taxes. You cannot change it overnight. Now coming to the prices hike and all that thing. See, whenever crude oil prices goes up and down, the prices always need not go up and down or parallelly.
So you're saying you will not hike it when the crude oil prices go up?
Let me understand first. See, it doesn't go the way it should be always. Depending upon the demand and depending upon the requirement of the government has to levy those taxes. I will tell you, you can check those figures. When the crude oil prices were 138 rupees per barrel, the petrol prices were 50 rupees. When it has come down to 90 per barrel, it was still 50 rupees.
When was this?
No, understand. I got full figures. I can tell you. Therefore, I am telling you.
Which year are you talking about? Please tell me which year you're talking about. I have all the figures. None of those figures match. No, Mr. Vishwas Pathak. None of these figures. No.
Let me complete.
My point is, 26% is the VAT. Why Maharashtra government is charging 11 rupees over and above that?
I am coming to that.
Any justification for that?
Unless you understand how budget is
26%.
Unless you understand how budget is drawn up, unless you understand how the funds are to be raised, there is no point.
All right. Okay.
Let me complete.
No. Let me see. I will come back to you. Let me rebut what you said. Let me rebut what you said.
Right.
First of all, let me point out to our audience that some of the data that Mr. Pathak mentioned cannot be found anywhere. If we're talking about budgeting,
2008.
If you're talking about
2008, the price of crude was $148 per barrel and the petrol was sold for 52 rupees.
Correct.
And now it is 49 rupees.
So you're making a point that's contrary to what you're saying.
What you just said.
I am explaining you the principle. I am explaining the principle how prices go up and down.
Don't explain to me the principle. Okay, let me point out, Mr. Vishwas Pathak. Let me point out what we have. What you're saying basically to me is this: that because you know that we need fuel, you are making hay when the sun shines. That's what you're saying. Now, Mr. Pathak, let's look at the data. If you tell me that the Maharashtra government is as inconvenienced about taking money from us as we are about paying it, why do you have a 3,600 crore rupee budget for a memorial? Why do you have a total of 4,600 crore rupees set aside for memorials when you have a 3 lakh crore rupee deficit?
I'll tell you
why is it? One second, I have lots of questions.
Are you against building of the statue of Mr.
If you're telling me that you have no money, I am.
Making memorial of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar?
Yes.
See, these are the social issues, political issues, they are also required. No,
and
no,
that
it's not.
funding is not going to go
See,
from
Mr.
budget. Mr. Pathak, don't get into an emotional argument. Don't bring in emotions here. Let's talk numbers. We're talking numbers. Farmer suicide. There are 3,063. Let me finish. I will give you all my data. I will give you
out of budget.
3,600 farmers. 3,600 farmers have committed suicide in the state of Maharashtra.
I think you are misleading the viewers.
I'm not misleading. I'm reading out of your own state budget. But nevertheless, you have. I'll tell you. Mr. Pathak, Mr. Pathak, please.
No, let me complete.
Mr. Pathak,
you please don't make the memorial right now. You please make the petrol price 45 rupees a litre, which is the justified price for the public.
One second, gentlemen. Mr. Pathak.
One, the way Maharashtra government runs very responsibly.
I'm sure.
I'm the party government. Electricity free, water free, this free. It's anarchy.
Mr. Ravi Srivastava, I will remind you both. 1 second, Mr. Srivastava and Mr. Pathak. One second, sir. This show is not about politics, and I will thank you not to distract my viewers with your politics.
You have to give me time.
I will give you time as soon as you finish. As soon as you allow me to finish asking my questions. Correct? Agriculture in the state of Maharashtra, you have only increased your agriculture budget by 8%. You have decreased your public health budget by 14%. You have only increased your school education budget by 6%. Now, there is severe drought in the state of Maharashtra, and still there are 3,063 farmers who've committed suicide in the last 1 year. There is a record number of farmers who've committed suicide in the first 3 months of this year. Maharashtra's MLAs received a salary hike, and they now are paid 4th highest in the country. They went from a salary of 75,000 rupees to 1.5 lakh rupees. Now, school budgets of Maharashtra, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan in Maharashtra had a decreased budget of 56%. The drought and calamities, the natural calamities budget had a decrease in allocation from 5,000 crores in 2015 to 3,360 crores in 2016. I can go on and on. I have a lot of numbers. I have all of the numbers here of your state budget. My question is very simple. If you insist on taking money out of my pocket, which obviously I do not have a choice about, where will I get the accountability of how that money is being spent? Now, in 2015, the Maharashtra government collected 3,000 crore rupees in a drought and a farmer cess on the price of petrol. Can you now, Mr. Vishwas Pathak, give me an account of where that money went and how many farmers you saved with what was very specifically said as a drought and farmer cess? Which farmer was saved with that money?
Okay, now I'll explain you. Number one, you need to correct. As against 12,000 crores budget, we have raised it to 25,000 allocation in budget for farmers and agriculturists. Secondly, if you ask me where this money has gone and where that money has gone,
you don't have it on your website.
Understand?
Either your statistics is incorrect or Mr. Pathak has got more updated information.
I have got updated information. Now let me complete. All I'm trying to say, see, whatever this money is collected, it is being utilized for the welfare of this state. How? When the GDP of the entire world is 2.5, India is doing 7.5, our state is achieving the GDP of 10%. Our current account deficit is going down without cutting expenditure budgets. So these are the things.
I just proved to you that you've cut expenditure budgets.
You are talking about helping the farmers. What about the tur dal? There are farmers for the last 3 months who are running to the NAFED office, and they've registered that tur dal produce, and they're waiting for a call for the tur dal to be bought. So what have you done for the farmer?
No, Mr. Pathak, 1 second. You said that my data was wrong. You said my data is wrong. I'm reading out of a printout from the Maharashtra government website. You challenged my data. I'm telling you where it's from. Maharashtra budget analysis of 2016-17. It says agriculture, rupees 3,600 crore rupees allocated as relief package for farmers against drought and natural calamities as compared to 5,000 crore in the previous year.
No, agriculture doesn't mean only that.
Drought,
allied activities also.
Drought and natural calamities relief. There are people committing suicide in this state because of drought.
For that purpose,
natural calamities. Why have you cut your budget? You just said you've not cut any spend. You've cut spend on public health and you've cut spend on drought.
No. See, let me first reply about tur dal. You are talking about tur dal.
No, you challenged my data. I'm telling you where my data is from.
Tur dal, single state of Maharashtra has procured 5 lakhs tur dal.
What is the price that the farmer gets for tur dal? What is the price I'm paying?
Whatever support price was declared, at that 5 lakhs ton has already been.
I think you need to get your statistics done and then discuss on the show because it's not working.
CM of Maharashtra has committed.
Sir, you need to get your statistics
My question was, Mr. Pathak, how much does the farmer get out of that money that we are paying?
See, whatever support price of 5,000 or what, I don't know exactly. That amount has already been paid to farmers. For balance procurement also, Honorable CM has committed to purchase that tur dal also.
Can I make
Please.
a small comment?
Please.
The 2 rupees hike right now that we are talking of is off budget.
To a different level.
This has nothing to do with the budget.
Yes.
This is an arbitrary increase in taxes.
Let me answer.
It's not a price increase. It's an increase in taxation illegally. Most increases or decisions on taxation must be done when the budget is presented to legislature, and you are completely disregarding the legislature.
It should be done in a transparent manner. You have to justify it. What are you doing it?
Let me answer, sir. See, on this excise duties on alcoholic products, my 8,000 crores is withdrawn in this budget only. I need to compensate that. I need to fulfill my commitment to agriculturists, farmers, and all those things. So if I am raising these funds are not going to go in politicians' hands. It is going for the development only, as against the gap of 8,000 crores. If I can recover by 2,000 to 3,000 crores,
share
it's not a crime.
Getting in form of excise from the central government.
1 minute. Allow me, please. Allow me. Faye.
Yes.
The point is,
let me just clarify
everybody
to the audience.
everybody says that if the price is not increased, the oil companies will incur losses. There's such a funny statement. In last 25 years, not even a single oil company has incurred loss in a single quarter in the whole year. Whom are you fooling?
Okay, let me also point out on the tur dal matter that we on an average pay between 100 and 120.
Not even a single oil company has gone in loss, sir. I'm making a statement, a firm statement. If you can contradict it, please tell me.
Why are we talking about that? Why are you talking about tur dal? Why are you talking about
I'm not talking tur dal, sir. I'm talking about oil only.
Sir, it was just a reference, and I think there is
I'm not
the
talking
whole
about
issue that is going on.
Okay.
There is a...
Ali Daruwala, do you believe, one second, let me just ask a very straight question here. Ali Daruwala, do you believe that the price of petrol needs to be increased in this manner in order to make up for the losses from elsewhere?
The timing in which manner the state government increases the prices of petrol, the moment the central government reduces the price, the same day, not even giving 12 hours of relief to the customers, the state government increases the price. But let me tell you one thing, over here nobody is mentioning the money which we have got by the reduction in the international market. 1/4 of that is given to the state government. Nobody knows about this 42% which the state government is getting from the central government. The ruling government should talk about the 42% which they have got their share from the central government.
So why this opacity? Why not transparently show everything? Why this opacity that what they have got out of it, why what they have not got out of it, and why they are raising this 11 rupee VAT on petrol for no rhyme and reason?
Actually, Mr. Vishwas Pathak, please tell me from this increased excise duty, VAT, surcharge on VAT, how much money will the Maharashtra government collect from the citizens over the next 1 year?
I think around 2,000 crores.
850 crores, sir. This is what has been said by the finance minister himself today.
That is the media news.
Plus also through some stamp duty which has rates which has been revised yesterday.
So basically stamp duty rates have been revised, which means that if you buy a house to the middle class of India, if you buy a house, you will now have to pay more in stamp duty. Stamp duty is currently already 5%. You'll be paying even more, making homes more expensive. Now, Mr. Vishwas Pathak, you are representative of a government that came in saying, first of all, that essential commodities will become cheaper. You also said that there will be homes for every Indian, that we will all be able to have homes. You also said कि अच्छे दिन आएंगे. Now tell me, अच्छे दिन कब आएंगे?
अच्छे दिन आना चालू हो गया है. Number one, about stamp duty.
अभी रेट शुरू हो
गई. Let me about stamp duty. The stamp duty for blood relationship transactions, from top to down, like father to son, son to grandson,
अच्छे दिन कब आएंगे?
Earlier it was 2%.
विश्वास पाठक, अच्छे दिन कब आएंगे?
We started, no. When Mr.
कैसे? आप describe this अच्छे दिन for me.
I'm telling you.
LPG के प्राइस nearly 800 rupees a cylinder.
कंप्लीट करो तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा।
स्कूल के फीस बढ़ रहे हैं, पेट्रोल की प्राइस बढ़ रहे हैं, महंगाई बढ़ गई है।
लेट मी कंप्लीट नो। एक अच्छे दिन का मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ।
जी दे दीजिए।
Around year and half back, when Mr. Khadse was revenue minister, he has reduced that 2% stability for the blood relationship to almost zero. Only on 200 rupees.
Which you have now decided is a mistake, and you have reinstated that stamp duty.
You don't know.
इसमें अच्छे दिन की क्या बात है?
You don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Please explain.
Therefore, you understand. Year and half back, that 2% stamp duty was brought it down to zero. Zero means 200 rupees stamp paper was this. That remains unchanged. Now, what is raised for other transactions in blood relationship, which are very few in volume, that 2% has gone up to 3%. And for peri-urban and all that thing, that
मैंने आपसे पूछा था अच्छे दिन कब आएंगे और आप मुझे क्या बता ये अच्छे दिन if I have property एक मिनट you are telling me that if I have property that I want to give to a family member I will have to pay less. I don't have property. मैं खरीदूं कैसे बॉम्बे में? आपको पता है प्रॉपर्टी की प्राइस क्या होती है बॉम्बे में? आपको पता है तूर दाल की प्राइस क्या होती है? आपको पता है गैस सिलेंडर की प्राइस क्या होती है? आपको पता है स्कूटर की प्राइस क्या होती है? अभी मुझे 4 व्हीलर अगर खरीदना है, गाड़ी खरीदनी है, आपको पता है कि गाड़ी की प्राइस आपको पता है कि गाड़ी की प्राइस
stamp duty rates doesn't decide how to buy property and all that thing.
स्कूल की फीस क्या आपको मालूम?
Don't mix up.
अच्छे दिन is not about me having property that I want to pass on to a family member. That is for rich people who already have property, who are passing it on between their families, who have enough property to then say you take one piece, you take one piece. मेरे पास रहने के लिए घर नहीं है, गैस सिलेंडर नहीं मिलता, स्कूल के फीस बढ़ रहे हैं, तूर दाल की प्राइस बढ़ रहा है। आप बता रहे हो मुझे कि इस एक चीज से you could only pick this one thing. This is your justification of अच्छे दिन after 3 years.
This government is working only for the capitalists. Nobody. No common man they are working. They are working for capitalists.
Let's talk.
Working for common man. We are seeing in Delhi.
I am telling you.
What is happening in Delhi? We know government working for common man.
No,
all people are.
I want to. Okay, one second. Everybody, one second.
Anna Hazare is blaming your CM.
Have you lowered electricity rate here? Tell me.
Are you done with the politics? Can I focus on the issue again, please?
Yeah.
Abdul is on the phone line from Mumbai. Abdul is a citizen. Abdul, go ahead.
Yeah, so my concern here is that every time we are seeing this fuel hike has been raised. What happens is that normally we as a working professional we get a hike of around 4 to 5%, but normally in case of the politician they get a hike of around 100% or more than 100%, and they are not paying that much money. They don't have to concern about this petrol and all. They are moving from the cars and all which use diesels and all, but we as an individual we get a hike of around 4 to 5% a year. And this petrol hike used to be actually getting increased daily by they are increasing 5 rupees and they are decreasing 2 rupees. What is the point in this?
Absolutely. KJ Shukla is on the phone line from Allahabad. Mr. Shukla, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, actually, what is important in this, ma'am?
Yes.
That this hike on petrol prices is quite condemnable. Actually, everyone uses it, and it is required that hike must be put under check.
Yes.
So that everyone is in a position to benefit from this.
Yes.
Furthermore, there is one more issue which I'd like to draw your attention towards. That is, these petrol pump owners, they too are finding out various ways to loot common innocent people.
But they can't unless you're talking about cheating in the actual quantum of petrol that they give you.
That's a wrong allegation to make.
Ali, go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm not going to sit and listen to these wrong allegations that gentleman is making. We dealers are fighting for our legitimate commission. We are not looting citizens over here.
What is your commission, Ali? Just tell my viewers, what is your commission per litre?
Petrol.
Yes.
Petrol. Yes. In petrol, we are getting 2 rupees 40 paisa. And in diesel, we are getting approximately 1 rupee 35 to 40 paisa.
So, Ali, tell me yes or no, if the actual value of the fuel is 29 rupees per litre, 2.5 rupees is your commission. Why are we paying 77?
It's almost 8%.
You should understand the built-up structure of the petrol, Faye. the price that has been distributed over here, where it was given in the parliament, if you just give me a minute to explain the technical aspect of this thing.
No, I'll tell you what the technical aspect is. I'll tell you. No, let me do it quickly because this is what I do. You have 29 rupees plus you have a dealer commission of 2.5 rupees. Over that, you have central taxes, central excise duty. After central excise duty, you have something called state VAT. After state VAT, you have a surcharge on the VAT. Then you have an octroi, which is the local. So you have central government, you have state government, and then you have city government, all of which are happily dividing the loot of the 77 rupees per litre that the customer is paying. The dealer is not making any money here or not making any more than he was making last year. Jacob is on the phone line from Cochin. Jacob, go ahead.
Yeah, so see this issue of raising the petrol every now and then. It is just because the leadership, any leadership, we cannot because there is a person who is representing government. We all shouldn't be attacking him because there is no other alternative.
What is your point? What is your point? There's no other alternative. Okay, there's no other alternative.
Allow me to make one point.
Okay.
Allow me to make only one point, Mr. Daruwala. You have just now said you are getting a commission of 2 rupee 40 paisa per litre on petrol and 1 rupee 35 paisa on diesel.
Yes.
Now let me tell you, with this 77 rupees per litre, with such a high price, there is always a malpractice of under delivery and the adulteration. And just now in the UP, 6,000 petrol pumps were sealed for having a chip for which they were giving an under delivery. The higher the price, more the benefit, more the profit. This is also tempting the dealers to make money on it.
If the price is higher, there will be more people tempted to make money of it. Let's focus. Let's come back to the problem. I don't want to lose the problem here.
Can I come to that? Can I answer? Can I answer this gentleman?
Go on, Ali. Go on very quickly, though. Very quickly.
Yeah, as he is making the example of Uttar Pradesh about the chip incident,
Delhi also
he gave a figure of 600, which is exceptionally wrong. Yeah, it is not even 0.01% of dealers who get involved in this kind of thing. You're going to punish the 99.98% dealers who are honest. You're going to deprive them of their commission just because of a handful of miscreants.
No, nobody is talking. No, hang on. I don't. Ali, you seem to have misunderstood this entire conversation. I do not want to deprive you of any commission. Your commission is not the point of discussion here. The commission, the thick, fat margin being made by the state government is my problem.
I raised it, yes.
The stick, which is on your screen, the total tax you pay per litre of fuel is 45 rupees. 45 rupees on a product that is actually worth only 29 rupees. How does that make sense? Someone please explain to me, Mr. Vishwas Pathak. Mr. Vishwas Pathak.
Give me a chance, I can give you the numbers. I won't talk only about numbers.
And which consumer product in the country has got this kind of a structure? Can anybody explain to me?
Of course I can.
Which product has got this kind of structure? 29 rupees is the cost and 48 rupees is the tax.
Do you know what are the international prices of crude? Today,
I know it, sir. I monitor it every day.
64.80 is
no, not at all.
70 rupees.
Not at all, sir. NYMEX is 49. NYMEX is 49.
Please check your figures. We do it every minute in the last. Please check your figures.
And Brent is 51.
$55 a barrel.
Ruben, I have a question. I'm very concerned about how you're running a business. If the price of crude went up in the last 20 minutes, the price of crude remains around $50.
It went up by $10 in the last 20 minutes.
It closed at $55.
You just said 55 and now you're saying 64.
It has not closed.
It's about $9 in 20 minutes.
Let me also point out to Ruben, it has not closed because crude is still trading in the international market. The international market happens to still be open. No, let's focus back on the problem. Let's focus back on the problem. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, our finance minister acknowledged that there are nearly 9 lakh people in this country who are not paying tax, who should be paying tax. There is a large number of people still evading income tax, large number of people who are still not paying the tax that they should be paying to this country. We also know about the famed Swiss bank accounts from which money has not returned to this country. Neither have we found out the names of these people who have these Swiss bank accounts. Now, repeated promises have been made to us saying that you, 1%, A little over 1% in this country, the salaried class, which has no choice because the tax is deducted from our accounts. You've made repeated promises to us that the tax net will be widened and the people who are getting away with not paying taxes will be brought under that net. It has not happened. Swiss bank accounts, not happened. Why is it?
Panama leaks.
Why is it that this low-hanging fruit of petrol is the only idea you have left? Shouldn't you have found ways to bring more people into the system? Shouldn't you have found ways to increase your revenue? Why is it that squeezing every last drop out of the middle class is the only idea you have left? We can't buy a packet of biscuits without the state government making money on it. We cannot buy milk without the state government making money on it. Explain to me, and that tur dal thing I'm bringing up for our viewers who don't know this data, you pay between 100 and 120 rupees per kg of tur dal. The farmer who grew that tur dal made less than 40 rupees.
Less than 50 rupees.
Can I just
What
add a
happened?
stat on that?
What happened? Go ahead.
Yeah, like Mr. Pathak said that the CM promised that a quintal of tur dal would be bought at 5,000 rupees. Okay. Now, in the CM's home state of Vidarbha, in the APMC market, President has gone on record to say that because the produce has not been bought by the government, they've been forced to sell it at about 4,000 rupees to the traders. Absolutely. Now, what will happen is the trader will end up making 1,000 rupee profit per quintal.
I would like to know who are the traders.
They are losing 1,000 rupees per quintal. That's the problem.
Wonderful.
So you're not doing anything for the farmers, but you're pinching the pockets of the common man.
Wonderful. Who are the traders? Who are the traders who are looting them? Supriya Sune declares a farm income.
No, I'm
farm income of 10 acre property. 100 crores farm income, no tax paid.
Prove the facts if they have.
Every NCP leader,
you are the man who just now
controls the APMC.
Increased the price of the crude oil. You don't know what your statistics are. Don't take names. If you don't have facts, don't take names.
I have the
No, sorry. Don't take names.
One second.
It's a public domain.
One second.
It's in the public domain. Does it hurt you?
Because you don't know what to talk. Clyde, you know that I do not appreciate this sort of behavior on my show.
No taking names.
I do
not
not
getting personal.
Clyde, please.
Please, no getting personal.
Please. I do not appreciate this sort of behavior
Absolutely,
on my panel.
even I don't appreciate it.
Clyde,
But
please.
why do I have to pay taxes?
Ruben, please.
Why do I have to pay taxes when a farmer who makes 100 crores does not pay tax?
I agree with you.
How is that fair?
Completely. I agree with you completely. Let me point out also, Ruben, to that point, the Niti Aayog, which is the erstwhile Planning Commission, actually suggested that very, very rich farmers should be taxed. Yes. Exactly 24 hours later, our Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, made a hurried statement saying, we have absolutely no intention of taxing any farmer. Please do not misunderstand.
And so, most of the rich farmers are not farmers.
Exactly.
I think
most of the rich farmers might also be politicians.
All of them are.
Very right.
All of them are.
Let's come back. Let's come back to the point. Now, on this channel, we do not care about the politics. Please do not waste my time. We only care about the middle class and the money that is going out of their pockets. Also, on this channel, we do not have screaming matches. There are other channels that will allow you to have screaming matches. It's what they enjoy. But when you scream, my audience cannot understand you and you are wasting their time. I do not invite guests who scream back on the show.
Can I apologize on that one?
Apology.
Yeah, I would apologize.
Now, back to the problem that we're talking about. There are people in this country who ride two-wheelers because they cannot afford a car. They have no choice but to fill petrol in their two-wheelers because there is no such thing as a diesel motorcycle. There is no such thing as a CNG motorcycle. When those people have to pay an extra 2 rupees per litre, adding totally to the fact that 45 rupees per litre, nearly 50 रुपए per litre, आपके पेट्रोल के जो पैसे हैं वो गवर्नमेंट के पास टैक्स में चला जाता है. What is the justification that our government has to offer for this price? Do I have the roads? Do I have the water? Do I have the air? Do I have the safety? When we walk out into the street as women, are we safe? Are there CCTV cameras? Are there street lights across the state of Maharashtra? Let me also point out to you how many children are starving in the state of Maharashtra. 15% of our population is undernourished. 30% of the children under 5 are underweight. 38% of the children under 5 are stunted. 1 in 4 are malnourished. We can go on to talk about the numbers of crime against women, in which Maharashtra is among the top 3. It has the worst rates of crime against women. It has some of the worst rates of mortality during birth. There are a lot of problems to be fixed. Can you give me accountability of which farmer you saved, how many children were fed, how many areas of land did you provide irrigation to, how many street lights did you put up, how much CCTV cameras did you put up, did you save anyone? And if you insist that the only way to do it is to tax petrol, for heaven's sake, give us public transport. We'll stop taking our cars out. You have not given us public transport. Get on the Western Express Highway. Okay? As a representative of the government, drive from one part of Mumbai to the other part of Mumbai at 6 o'clock in the evening and then tell me that you have justification for taxing me on fuel. Tell me.
Horrible.
Mr. Vishwas Pathak.
Regarding public transport, this government is taking various steps, including coastal railways, coastal roads.
Let me also point out to you, Mr. Vishwas Pathak, Mr. Nitin Gadkari.
Are you going to allow me to talk now?
Let me point out to you, Mr. Nitin Gadkari.
When you are not allowing me to talk.
That's a very long project which you are talking about. What have you been doing in last 3 years? How many projects have we completed in last 3 years?
Let him finish. Mr. Srivastav, let him finish. I'll give him point by point rebut.
Now first I will tell you.
Coastal road, yes.
No. Now let me reply first. You raised 10 things. Now let me reply first. Number one, you are talking about why we are raising these hikes and all that thing. It is only because in this very same budget, there is a shortfall of 8,000 crores, which is accepted fact. It is imposed by Supreme Court, we accepted it. Secondly, you talked about why are you not increasing net? You must be aware that GST is coming there. There are two types of taxes, indirect and direct. In indirect taxes, through GST, lots of unorganized activities will fall into tax bracket and therefore tax net will increase. As far as direct taxes are concerned, because we are going towards digitization, less cash transaction system, it will also attract addition of more taxpayers through direct taxes also. So these are the steps which we need to understand with open eyes. Just by blaming government, you should also appreciate and understand if you are government, what solutions you are going to give. Just by screaming and just by making popular statements, what by poor are doing, why suicides are happening and all those things. These are the facts. We are not denying that. These are the facts. But just by raising same thing again and again, what you are trying to show, try to give some positive pictures also. This government is committed. In last 3 years, there are no any cases of corruption and all that thing.
Oh, sir.
Central India and state government.
Please,
state also. You
Okay. Mr. One second. Mr. Shailesh Gandhi is going to respond. Mr. Shailesh Gandhi.
Mr. Pathak, that India has got rid of corruption is a nice fairy tale.
It has not got rid of.
No, let him.
Sir, you said there is no corruption. I'm only taking from you. Just
no allegation on any minister in central government.
Let him finish. Mr. Gandhi.
And your contention that long-term projects will alleviate everything. And you still haven't answered my fundamental question, sir. Is a budget meant to be standard and sanctified? Or is it that the government will raise taxes? Are we seeing a new kind of economic theory? Are we seeing a fact that the legislature, the budget passed by legislature is a meaningless exercise? And just one more thing, since you mentioned something and that got me really fascinated. With GST, do I understand that the maximum amount of tax on petrol will probably come down to about 3 or 4 rupees?
Sir, GST, fuel is out of that.
Let me. He has raised one question for me. See, now you give me answer.
Petrol is out of the ambit
I know
of GST.
in budget is not there, should not change from time to time. Tell me in very same budget, and I told 2 times, I think you have not heard it, there is a gap of 8,000 crores from alcoholic products excise duty. Where from it should be compensated. You give me better solution, we will accept it.
Sir, I told you, please charge the full rate to Patanjali. Please collect 3 to 4,000 crore rupees on lease rents in Mumbai alone. If you stretch it over Maharashtra, the figure will be 15 to 20,000 crore rupees.
I'll tell you.
And let me tell you, I have a PIL in court which the government is opposing, saying we don't want to collect this much revenue.
Well, I have to wrap up the show, Mr. Vishwas Pathak. I've run out of time to respond to what you said about the coastal road. On this very channel, I did an interview with Union Minister of Surface Transport, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, who went on record to say that a boat and a water transport would be the best and the cheapest solution for Mumbai. The coastal road, he said, he's not really sure why the state government is pursuing, because it's expensive and it's unnecessary and it's not exactly the solution of the city. It is expensive, I will grant him that. GST. Petrol is not included in GST. It is left outside the ambit of GST, which means that it is very clear. The message being sent to state governments is whatever money you're going to lose out of GST, please make it up in petrol. Also, the promises of Achhe Din and Bhrashtachar Mukt Bharat have not been fulfilled yet. We are looking forward to a day when we each have our own home. We are looking forward to a day when we go to register our houses and we are not required to pay cash to the people sitting in those offices. We are looking forward to a day when government offices are not taking cash from us under the table to do our jobs. We are looking forward to a day when there is a policy that prevents schools from irrationally increasing the school fees from parents who cannot make up. And we are looking forward to the day when we create the number of jobs that were actually promised to us, because right now, from when we understand it, going by the newspaper reports and the IT companies, we are actually losing jobs in this country. So on one hand, we are losing jobs. On the other hand, everything is becoming more expensive. Also, crime against women continues to be a problem. That is where we leave it right now. In the meantime, let me point out to the government of Maharashtra, you are not allowed to increase the price of fuel like this without justification. Please offer us justification. If you cannot manage your budget, I'm sure there are people in the private sector who will come in, like Shailesh Gandhi said, his wife can do a better job. People in the private sector who will come in and advise you on how to manage your budget and do a better job of it. The middle class is not an ATM. You cannot keep reaching in and taking money out of our pockets. We don't have any left to give you. Please be reasonable. And if you're not going to be reasonable, then clear up the Western Express Highway and the Eastern Express Highway and allow us then to reach home on time through prompt public transport. You can neither do this or that. You are failing and we are watching you. Thanks for watching.